Oh, there you go. Oh, welcome back to Limbus Company stream. Let me see these. I'll be doing the Limbus Company and Arknight lab, just checking out some stuff. Yep. I'll be doing the. Yep, there you go. This one. I'll be doing the. Should I? Okay. Oh.
군주가 나선 흑수. 연료는 장.
빨리 시작하시죠.
Only bring 4 of them. Exploring the water version branch 1. The conscience seems simply that the sense of cognition itself was concept without form, floats in the shadow of an ever winding river, jump up by current out of nowhere. We ran into humanity. Sadi told us the hung ones of a political branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality which had appeared out of nowhere was more otherworldly than we'd encountered so far in the journey, and blue. It was fathomlessly blue. It seemed to uphold that endlessly blew us into this. Yes, I was about to recall this abnormality. Read of scenes of flood of incalculable thoughts crash into our mind like wild waves before embedding away from the shores. Already was already lost in breath somewhere beyond consciousness, then I realized this. Guess how long I was in breath. Sensation of my own consciousness float away is quite the unfamiliar one. Float about in strangely for a while. Familiar voice sees my image drifting consciousness. Are you talking? Fog going between clear numbers through the wave, and concerned expression comes into you. Yes, I am. Bored, who thought this? So only us to ask, was about to ask further questions to the strange, particularly long animal appeared. But yeah, what browsing is person back with terrifying memories, but dream right wondering unable to speak. I get a hold of myself. After an interminable amount of time had passed, I really managed to wake myself from the slumber and get a grasp of the surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. Hi, I'm here. It was strange earlier, sitting on top of a rock, silently taking in sight a young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, it's not important right now. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I would end up in. Oh. Okay. Hi, welcome everyone. Wait, that actually happens? Oh, damn. I'll be seeing to that. I'll make sure to screenshot the shit out of that. BL. It's not important right now. I have to practice figuring out just where in the world I end up in. So we're standing in the Liberian coastline. How are you feeling? I don't know anything about art likes. I barely know Arknights from your sub videos, but a friend told me also about it, but not really fully played the game. Now we're not this. I don't know. Gonna play it honestly. I was felt a lot of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Liberia? Yes, we're in Liberia. The fuck is that? Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted away. I drifted all the way to Newport Beach Lake. Liberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all left go on, given the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. The radio your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. See. The fuck? Wait, my colleagues? You must run into my sinners then. The fog in my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. She's short as fuck. Yep, I imagine. Sinners. I think so, I ran into them earlier. They were looking all over the place, someone with a lock for a head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for. So this clock in the head does come in handy. For many things, Dante, for many things. Well, money to your bed. Dante. I woke up in a familiar place, to an unfamiliar face, and all amidst of this all around sense of displacement. The face that appeared before me was certainly a sight for eyes. Gregor Hong Lu. Miss Rabbit told me. Miss Rabbit told me that he found you unconscious by an ocean. Phew. Came fast as I could. Oh no, I was worried something bad might happen. Glad you were doing fine. Where lost sleep? No. Well, I don't think I'm fine. I guess I'm not having any way to drink water while it comes handy. Should go. I should go get that checked out in case. Wait, your head's waterproof? Your head's waterproof, right? Okay, at first I did thought she was donkey also. I did thought if she because of the sprite with Virgilius being Amia. He does look like he's a donkey. Igor takes a moment to steady his breathing, and then mutters a unique whoop as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much nature. So what happened? Where are we? You remember entering that lobotomy corps branch Tishan told us about? Ah, yeah? Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got stuck into it before we even had a chance to get to anything. Man, I really thought that was it for us. Especially when you snuck in there too, Mario, but when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down into some ditch, we were all fine on a scratch. Though there was quite a mess when we realized that you'll be gone missing. Oh. We want to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got the better bearings where we were. We're not at Newport lately. Some of us considered that to be a distinct possibility, but unlike Ishmael, was really certain that we're not in District 21. Find it Blue Star. That would be crazy if it was Blue Star, but I don't think it's gonna be Blue Star. Blue Star was a massive part of the. It was like in the main branch of Lobotomy Corp, so I don't think there will be another. I mean, there was the other outfit classes from other branches, like nothing there, opposite, like everything's there for Encore. Like for Kanto 3. What would be the opposite of Blue Star? Opposite of Blue Star. Ah, yes. Minor Red Star. Red. Wait, blue absorbed and red probably just like pulses them back. It just does a massive shockwave. So I don't think it's gonna be an abnormality. Probably just wait. Actually, the closest idea for me to think this could be an abnormality is refraction dimension variant. It could be refraction dimension variant. We concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirt, but it doesn't seem likely either, given that the rabbit-eared lady said there. The outskirt region of the Great Lake. I met all kind of people from all over the place over Terra, but I never met anyone referred to the Liberian Sea as a way. Terra, Liberia. I probably just call it Limbus Tasby. As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Oh, really? You fellas haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet. It's just that it's all a lot to take in. Oh, it's Vincent. I did wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is, actually, would you like to do it on yourself? I'm Amia, the leader of Proteus Island. Please just call me Amia. I'm Dante, manager of Limbus company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. Okay, good job. Okay, good job there, Dante. Like talking to a kid. Think that low that makes you forget that it existed and it's right reality in a wormhole. Which one's that again? Which one's that? For me, I just think it's like the dimension refraction, the far dimension variant. Because it's cool. Oh, jeez, it's look. It's a massive contrast. It seems that this Rhodeus Island is a pretty big corporation, but Gregor trails up ominously and pats his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is at all. As far as I know, there aren't any organization in Terra with the same characteristics as Mr. Gregor explained, at least not with a name like the Head. Yep. Sorry, it's Rhodeus Island, not Rodeo. Sorry, Gregor is kind of bad names. So what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore. We wait for any higher up at these high corporations to know less about the Head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. What the? Why did that get redacted? I don't know what's that about. Why did that get redacted? The fuck? Or maybe we found ourselves in the. Maybe we tumble into a previously undiscovered zone in the outskirts of the ruins, probably. Or maybe we found ourselves in the completely different world. Oh, Glue, I think you got it. If the conjecture is correct, we're in a way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Amiya stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection up to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes, recently, anomalous signs of events event have been occurring in Liberia ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at the sea. And it's been said that the dimension door is connected to something very, very distant, to something that we'd never observed before. So reasonable to theorize that dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. Oh, it's from Arknight. I would really appreciate Fal's input. With all the sense go anyways. A bit late to update be gawking around for the sinners now, don't you think? They're at the settlement near here, where they be all helping out in various odds and ends of the village, while we're taking turns searching for Dante of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like fresh out of water too, but man, barely got even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Everyone got to be real tired then, so it's just you two here now for now. Now Ishmael and Yisang are the other half of the search party, and we just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching elsewhere for you, manager, but we got news early, but news early thanks to Amiya comms gear, but our team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. Our teams, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue in search until their ship is done. Oh, are we talking about the village you mentioned earlier? Right. You have not been there yet. I guess a bit off from the beaten path. Well, we're going to have to rendezvous with other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something to pique Amiya's interest, but she fell into competitive silence before carefully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You help us find manager, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. I don't actually know Liberia that well either, but I should be able to piece up some help. And they'll be close. When I've closed their borders, and I've practically locked out any region influence from affecting them, but I don't get a briefing before the mission. Close borders, huh? Now you get in, Miss Amiya. If followed Calcit's direction, it's illegally crossed the country's border. You jumped the border illegally. Oh, that means that you crossed the border without obtaining a permission. We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why dimensional door came to be. It's normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that. Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. Yes, Rhodes Island is, in essential, a pharmaceutical company researching treatment for people infected with oropathy. But we also work in preventing and assist in management of various situations that can occur in high risk area. Wait. What about your companions? I doubt you'll come all the way here on your own. We are forced to split up due to certain forces that we were in pursuit. Wait, stop. Amiya's ear twitched and she came to a stop in scanning the surrounding area. Then, there. As we stood about confused, Amiya's noting something, pointed toward the seashore hidden behind a large crag rock formation. Oh wait, yeah, that's true. Oh hey! It's her, Scotty. There we saw someone wielding a lengthy sword. I feel like they did Arknight character justice. triggered with two familiar faces. Again, move, you're in the way. You needn't worry. As you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. Listen, I'm not worried. It's come on, better to have 3 fighters than one. But besides, you're the first person we ran into here, so we got a lot of questions to ask. Isang Ishmael, Dante, going on, and here I was getting ready for about 3 days long search. In 4 days, when she kills everyone and starts hunting a Leviathan, truly a hunter from the abyss. Wait, she killed everyone and started go for Leviathan. Sounds like someone I know. Someone like I know. It's like need touching on. So I'm gonna do that. Bro. What a relief. We were all worried that we might never be able to find you. Well, we managed to find them thanks to our help from Miss Amy here. Amy? Are you two acquainted? No, not a good time for a reunion. I know that though. It can't wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Scotty, are these organisms the seaborn Dr. Scout mentioned? They're all sea terrors, to be specific. The less sophisticated among them, and they're probably here for me. Sea terrors? I hear the sickly noise of something viscous slithering against the rock. When I turn to face the origin of the noise, I smell a heavy, wet scent of brine. At the end of my gaze, a strange monster, unlike distortions, unlike the branches, unlike anything I've seen. They look like Pedclaw. As it though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. I was almost certain that we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Our experience with thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a very mood. As the smell seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think these creatures could be whales or mermaids? No. The Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries after all. Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I could make is with the whale, but it's not even conclusive. Oh, more enemies on the horizon. We should get prepared for battle. Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. So let's take them out. Oh, time to kill.
敵が来ます。皆さん、戦闘の準備を。
Gotcha.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
Really easy, right?
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。
Answer me, my Heishi pack.
말로 바랍니다. 저 주들을 도려내. 물론
効果的な攻撃でした。
길을 열어. 이 정도 탕후의 허덕이나.
ダンテさんの作戦、
Oh shit.
とても効果的でした。
It shouldn't be that bad, right?
このままいけば敵を食い止められます。
언제까지 버티나 보자고.
There you go. Oh, come on, Ishmael. How did you lose that?
목을 떨궈주마. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
エリートオペレーターの身の腕前です。
Ishmael, don't you dare
제가
lose.
풀겠다. 난 가리가는 없겠지. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
They're dying.
바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
敵は深手を負っています。
강화 휴지.
it's not getting it from
개인의
me.
골몰지 마시오. 전장에 전념하시오. 짐승들의 재갈을 부른다. 마음 놓고 열어젖히고.
Kill get some sanity. Oh, they're like thinking.
을 틔울 수도
No wonder.
모든 것을
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。
Well, all yours. Wait, actually.
언제까지 버티나 보자고. 넌 모든 것을
They can't do
겪어왔어.
that.
Mission accomplished.
How many enemies have retreated to sea? Good work, Kev. Who didn't think I'll have to deal with anything remotely like these outside the Great Lakes. You can say that again. Would taken us the whole day if that third character didn't occupy the other half while Miss Rabbit helped us with from distance. As we were catching our breath after battle, I heard a brief hum, and I turned to look at the source. I saw Scotty glaring at me with a palpable alarm. Strange people would transform, and ahead of a clock. I guess they're both technically true. Well, it's nothing more than just a theory at this point, but I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating. Nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear ticking clock. Oh, that's because only us in this can hear Dante's voice. Huh? So, no, I'm not. I'm just wondering how Miss Amia can seemingly understand Dante. Oh yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, it's completely flew over my head. The didn't ask the question. How weird that is. Your voice sounds like a thing talk to me, but I don't know. It almost feel like I can sense what they're trying to say. What kind of emotion they're trying to convey. Explanation reminds me of a blue boy in Sinclair's Pass. And I didn't feel quite uncanny sensation, Mamiya, that I felt from that. Blue boy. So she can read me kind of like how Virgilius can, yes. But I don't think it's a bad thing. It is true. It's a bit of a hassle anyways. Need Faust or Honglu translate for you, Dante. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So are we heading back? Sounds like a plan. It's not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here be hanging along too. She'll be helping us find a way back. I'm glad to be working with you two also, Miss Ishmael and Mr. Honglu. Took the words right out of my mouth. You said you already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it this year, the sun falls, or would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea. It's not like we have not like we have a clock with us. I do know it's not very far though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Scotty quietly pointed in my direction. Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time. Then why are you the clockhead? I didn't exactly choose the clockhead sheep. I look away from Scotty. I look away from Scotty's inquisitively eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. The coasts of Liberia are hardly good place for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at a place where that meets the ocean. So how people manage to build a village in this place like this? The monster is called Seaborns or Sea Terrors, yes? Well, it is true that they pose certain difficulties. They were hardly the home monsters that in the spring to bring Scourge and bring out the local province. Don't touch on base after brief skirmish. He's telling us to be on our guard, right? Scotty can be a little curt, but she's not a bad person. Nothing she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out of existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Scotty's concern only served as a fan of my curiosity, but I don't care. Something about her expression communicated that I shouldn't pry, so I quietly quickened my pace as we walked to the village. And that's where it's done.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군.
Wow.
빗물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가 뭘 바꾸었는지를.
Oh, yep, you're up to it. Warning. This hardly looks like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it? It doesn't seem like they've done any work to keep this place not in a while at least. They're really here living together. Strange buildings tell stories of a former prosperity from the bygone era. Our steps leave no footprints in the wet muddy ground on it. We see a rotting sign marked with the name Faro Mortero. Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of long silent abandonment. We don't see these kind of abandoned looking ruins up in the city either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on the free real estate, be it a syndicate or corporation, and fix it up better than these, at least. So where are the syndicats? Ah, there's a clearing down there where we were trapped in a betwixt a twamp of a great ship narrowing winds against our sails. Oh. And that's when a young Ishmael boom her command as most resonant. Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for them. That unmistakably Cenarius' familiar voice echoing promptly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote, where she's sharing her adventurous tale. Where she was standing atop of a low podium like anchor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of adventure, like traveling the Spain. Answer ye dogs, oarsmen. At this moment, I, Ishmael, the first mate of the vessel metamorphosis, I shall navigate. Stop! What are you doing? What in there? Young Ishmael, unhud my mouth, for I have just about to regale them the most fantastic tales of adventure of the Great Lake. Managers quite verily, as thou hast returned with managers as quite safely in tow. But one clockhead. One clock for a head. When I was a child, I heard stories about the legendary saw sharks of a flaming head. Would someone like that visit our humble village? Waldex here may carry elements of inspired fear and stuff, but there's no cause for law. Yeah, it might look like that, but they're Dante, a rancher, and the rest are. Oh, hello. Why, who are you two? They're two very nice people who helped us find Dante, and there's Miss Anya, leader of Rodius Island. There's Miss Scotty, your operator. You'll be coming along with us for a little while. Huh? With us? We believe that dimension door, which at the Rhodes Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up in Liberia. Isabel was bringing the sinners up to speed. The villagers who were staring at us curiously approached us. Did our conversation manage to convince them that we're not a threat? I sure hope so. Ah, you two friends of our savior. Saviors? Verily, it is quite a grand title. Yet, that is indeed the words of what we addressed. Be more precise, by saviors, they're referring to false notice. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that the lips were trying to very, very subtle smile on. So I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful before initiative arrival. What business of such? It's their fucking elves. They're elves. They're elves. I want to kill them. What business do outsiders have here? What they're from? What if they're from Inquisition? Oh no, what do we do? After all, we on went to get here. Calm yourself, everyone. None of them carry what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are. I don't think they're gonna trust us anytime soon. They're all odd. They're all old curmudgeons. Let's see. Let's snap their neck completely. Then PTSD. We can't do that, Ryoshi. We can't privilege their storage deposits out. Privilege their storage deposit. It looks like they already have it hard enough as it is. I don't think sync is a good way to get started either. We just find out elsewhere. Just look at how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in shape to help us out. Perhaps we could inquisite as our whereabouts to decide our lodging. While the landscape is certainly reminiscent of Bucorp's, I don't think we'll see or learning about any place that looks like this. Though I can say I've been in every corner of Bucorp. I ask again, what business do you outsiders have? The fingers are tightening with grips and tightening around the grips of your weapons. Prolonging silence will most likely turn into hostile encounter. Can't have that. We were from Limbus company where fixers of justice. Yeah, that fixers of. Oh, don't you know where to keep it down? Fixers. That over there is a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief, these do not concern you. Is this being a mere outsider can understand? Curious, I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run tests to rule out any stable issues? Seems the power of the heat exchanger via method compared to a utilization fusion energy. Have you thought in this, Miss House? The general design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but certainly has inspired parts to this design, particularly when the usage of this core energy, while its stability would need to be further studied. This technology seems to be certainly energy sufficient. You identify all these merely by a glance at this blueprint. You must be the village chief then, huh? If so, I have a proposal. In return for assisting our ship repair, we are promised to provide their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going out to the sea, we may be able to find a way to return to whence we came. Does that mean we can find a way back somehow? Somewhere out there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch. Sensing the implicit omen of her choice word, I slowly turned to looking Faust. who nodded solemnly in response. If we're really in a different world, even her galactic chaff has to be no issue were encountered in the repair process. Paul smiled faintly as she looked around. Then she pulled me in by my helms. She was she whispered in a low voice. The connection in the goddess chaff apparently operating a suboptimal level, don't they? So it's still connected at least. Indeed, it is, however. An exchange of simple information or taking up a dozen of an hour. Taking up a dozen of hour by current calculation. Isn't this a warp train situation because we're in a different dimension? The cause. The cause should be identified. We have been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Faust is aware that the path to our original dimension is yet to be closed at this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train. So to get back to where we came from, indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. And from that you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to sea. Yes, well, I am also a genius after all. You conjectured that we probably came through a dimensional door, but looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. With high likelihood, yes. At least there's a way back. I find myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you could wrap up the repair job? As fortunate should have it. Majority of our time consuming parts to repairs have already been completed by the local workers. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get those four parts ship shape again. Exclusive manager. That shit-eating grin. We'll be staying here for a few days. Then, how did you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy, looking for you the whole time. We took turns helping with each other's repair and resting, but I doubt any of us got a proper rest right now, proper night rest. Still, you weren't cold. Thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with the local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What's for? Oh, look at a snack. Looking like a sack to collect water. Give it here. I know how to get that installed. It must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis' efforts to repair the ship. Yet the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when we're taking a transactional nature into account. They're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? As for food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread Rhodia keeps in her pockets. We didn't want to eat the food supply when we're already pretty tight, you know. She carried enough cookies and bread for the people. They did offer us some nosh, some dried out fish things, but we refused. I ain't taking food from the needy. No need to concern himself with our hospital. You have done more than enough to earn your keep. I turned around to observe that low rumbling voice and saw an old man in an outfit dress seemed to distinguish himself among the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay at night? We do have a place for shelter at the misty humidity for the very least. There's an entire building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I don't mind sleeping, but in the streets myself. Hey, speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sleep with a roof over my head since like yesterday. You'll catch a cold sleeping in the elements in this environment, which is fine by me for the rest of you. But it's fine by me for the rest of you. But cannot afford to have the exclusive manager or honored guest suffer the flat fate. Honored guest. Yeah, I heard what happened from the four who were left in search for the exclusive manager. First, I would like to begin my imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the exclusive manager. Glaze, infinite glazing. I hear that you are the leader of the pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy in case of our stay becomes significantly prolonged. I'm surprised by her boldness to say something so materialistic when we're standing right there. Can I stay in your village too, Chief? The village chief took a brief glance at the helm by her wrist, then nodded. Welcome to Faro Morto. You are welcome to stay for as long as you want. And please do let me know if you find yourself without food. Our supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped prepare the vessel. Oh, you better not go turn your back. My word, Satan. I wonder what kind of local delicacies. No wait, fried fish like we were eating just earlier, maybe. Hey Chief, what is it? Yes, how are you surviving out here by the sea? Perhaps the question of how we are surviving might be somewhat misdirected. For, for we are only pursuing every possibility, possible avenue because we must survive. The chief responded to Scotty, received hostility with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. You can't learn much more from here. Are you going somewhere? Sour? Scotty, does this have to do with those ghosts? I remember what you said before. We got to the village. Something about the coast are hardly good for a place to live in. Something wants to know if this has to do with the coast. You understand the Ager language? Ager language? What? No. Dante, Scotty just spoke in Agrin. Couldn't understand a word of Scotty. In chief conversation, because I don't speak Agrian. It may only be that we were enough lexically similar between one of the city's language and the language Scotty spoke in Fordham in comprehend the meaning. Read conclusion. Anyways, I have some things to look into. Something you're all too slow to see. You'll have to tell us about it later. Please remember, you're not in a solo mission, Scotty. There is a team effort of Rodius Island. Will do. Scotty nodded, and before leaping off in the night, out of our sights. Kind of worried. She's not the best of people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Looking inside, the sun's setting. The sun started to set already. Oh yeah, we can probably just pick an unlit building and stay for the night there, right? We tried our best ignoring the mood that was starting to turn awkward. We made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Terra. Nice, good. Lunacy here. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnant of narrow buildings. We bumped past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a hall large enough for a house, all 15 of sorts. Now we're ready, with the curtains of the windows removed. The smoke has entered. The smoke has an exit. Oh, I thought we were doomed to shudder ourselves to sleep with soaking wet firewood, and I have no idea how it works. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it, then the fire would rise up and start its fire. The downside is being all the smoke. It's clear that the she has some real experience, unlike some fools I know. I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bestow upon the tines ingredients, young Ryoshu, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? No, 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 you are not getting anywhere near the kitchen again. Not after what you cooked up last time. Well, I must admit that to a certain level of interest, as many of our fellow Viscera are often racked in intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your own making, perhaps it would be wiser that we could save the occasion for a safer environment. Don't you remember we agreed to leave cooking to Merle or Otis if we were in a situation like this, remember? We see, I think it's some sort of unspoken rule after all, after everything that happened. Remember, back during the day cooking after doing back during back during last year's cooking contest at K Corp, they were the only two people who managed to remotely get a positive review. Doesn't mean we'll get to try cookies Otis cooking once again. Denied. We were not. We still have plenty of high calorie food. The cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. I'm glad to see everyone still energetic, given the circumstances. It can't be easily sudden. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in a familiar environment. We're all quite used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Samia? You shook your head in concern. They might be lost. They must lost their comm device, or ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. Dr. Fawcett, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves. Hmm. Long, long have this curiosity lingered within me, thus allow me to inquire. Corporations are, by their nature, organization in pursuit for profit. Yet the activities of your corporation resemble those charity organizations. They resemble those charity organizations as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicit this blurred distinction? I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhode Island helping people? Something about what Hong Lu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen throughout the cascade of flowing tears. In the face of suffering, the embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Hong Lu's fathom. The pharmaceutical company I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing a capacity to heal, choose to obsess over the profit that it can provide. There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. Disease crystallizes you. It spread deeper and deeper into the infected organs. The infected's internal organs, communicative, eventually communicative did that. Now it's called property. Amiya showed me the back of her right hand, nothing what appears to be obsidian crystallization. It appeared to remind me of a bio treatment from the backseat, but there was something more to it, something more restless, more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there hasn't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable deadly disease? Well, in various regions, region by region, discrimination against the infection is widespread across Terra. Those compromised face unfair treatment. Isam began with a dark expression. Some were quarantined in places with terrible, inhuman conditions, and there have been massacres too. I don't mean to call it colious, but is this orpathy highly contagious? No, there's not. There has not been any recorded cases of infection by contact as long as the subjects are alive. But when infected dies, the crystal growth on their body decays into dust, scattering, which is what spread the plague. Then bearing environment like active battlefield, the casualties are to be expected. Staying within close proximity of the infected in daily life seems to be opposed of hardly any risk. So what's the problem then? They're already past the point of caring what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. And Rhodius Island's goal has to be, yes, it's important to develop a cure for apathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. It's not going to be an easy endeavor, that's what given your effort more meaning. I hope I can achieve that, Lamia. I really do. For truth, the cities, this world, we both live in a world full of sorrows, don't we? What kind of world did you come from? The city? What place is the city anyways? The kind of place with too many pointless rules. The kind of place where the moment you think isn't too much, the place where the moment you think isn't this too much, you see something even worse. Bias might. Last time as I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. Certainly seems to be an agreement, but most of what came after was scattering. What kind of place where good deeds rarely even go unpunished? When sympathy is a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back, nothing good ever worked out there. It's a shithole. It's an irritational place full of obscurities. Obscurity is often present. Therefore, it's not a subject of which one should be aggravated by. We can at least grounge them about, though. It's the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more of accumulate oneself to it, but instead of complaining. We did say something like that last time. As the mood was starting to turn to sour, Don Quixote's shout chattered throughout the awkwardness. Verily, Nile a day cluttered by and tarnished by villains and fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil riseth, thou fixer of justice. To Don Quixote jumped from her seat and passionately took her which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of pebbles tumbling down. Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa! What? From behind the wall, she accidentally broke down a familiar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book. Elf, kill him! How farest thou? Where is thy foot? You gotta apologize first. Last seems to be a tad too hyper today. I apologize for hardly expected the walls to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? To pray? Tell to what? To forget the apology, I just want to know what happened next. The fixer of justice rose up to do what? Oh, hast thou come to learn details of a fixer? I don't know about coming to us. Don't know about coming to us, given how my son was the one who punched the wall down. Was it not too late this hour? I don't mind waiting until morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite an early an hour for tales. In fact, free tea, seat thyself here. You ungovernable fool, calm down. They'll know who she is. And don't forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep. That was making up requests the most unattendable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, it's the best way to hear all kinds of stories, but we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayors. How should I put this? Did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my gramps. Oh, that nice guy? Who has a granddaughter? Yep, I did not see you once, Miss Mayors, under the sun. Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried up of young blood. Rodia said while we didn't see Mayors out there wasn't anyone else in the village we couldn't comfortably call you. But telling me Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside. Going on and on about this danger of the outside poses everything. It seems like they do not give full faith to their saviors. There are things you cannot share even whom you trust in your life, though I would like to know why. My, so there's a bunch of other kids who stuck indoors in the village. No, there isn't around my age in the village at all. In that case, I guess I can understand why he be overprotective. Anyways, we are turn. We are. I'm good. I've heard enough to get an idea. You did? Oh, pray tell. How didn't thou heard us? Be a listening device upon most secret upon our chamber. Mayo stopped the side of the wall. And a part of it was still standing, anyways, and smiled ironically. Bad soundproofing. I could pretty much hear everything. Don Quixote, right? Everything Don said, but practically sang during the day. Well, I see. I think you could really do some. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once. Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introduction. So, care to regale me with the tale of fixer to bring justice to the evils of the city. Indubiously then, I shall do. I shall regale thee with tales of which the legendary fixer, and magnificence herself, the Red Mist, hath. I suppose that killed my any hope for a good night's kiss. Don't you usually pass out in a minute with your back hitting the hay, no matter how noisy things are? What? Don't you take me for some kind of carbonated bear or something? Look, I don't even have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over. I'd say Baron have hibernation. It's pity I've skeptical. All that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners fell asleep, fast asleep. Assault entered sleep with usual steadfast adherence to routine, while Faust lay calm. They claimed to one of few unavailable plot sheet as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. Sinners who had spent the entire night searching for me in this unfamiliar land slowly began to fall asleep as well. Meanwhile, the fix of the Way Association, first section, though this night was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, isn't she? Oh, I guess it's okay since Mary seems to be having fun. As I continue to watch the pair, some mild concern, Amia's not yet asleep, approached me. This city, Don Miss Donkey speaks up, seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventure. Do you actually experience all of them yourself? No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually of those of other famous people. But she's telling it like such a figure. Some sound like she was in there herself. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retelling of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied, certainly. Certainly, thinking back to the play we made back watching in La Mancha Land. Well, I think all of those stories, even though they're only partly true, just goes to show what ridiculous place can be. We wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with if we really live in such a world, right? A really good place to live in would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it. Ah, that's true. I hope that there'll come a day where Rhode Island can be no pharmaceutical company in this future. Something wrong? No, just thought Miss Amia. That Miss Mayers when I made eye contact. Did you overhear a conversation? I look at direction as well, but I saw was made frighteningly reacting to Duncan's tale. And then thus spoke Lady Otis, boldly before the soldier who stood up on the path. Thou premised to stand in our path, serve as of the master's most unworthy. I, Otis, shall educate thee on how matters make it. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company adventures in Hong Won, and Otis, who could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alteration of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it, what kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I said nothing like that. Certain aspect of this retelling may be exaggerated. That's a tale adventure for you. Things are bound to be a bit dry in the story. Is told too realistically, as in, right? You know nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once. The profound silence swept through the village. So I've always have a crave for these kind of stories. But Libria doesn't stop librarians from immigrating countries to tight countries like immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still challenging to cross the border, especially since we're going to have to pass through the larger cities that is managed by Inquisition. You don't seem to be particularly profound of this Inquisition. Why is that? Because this village was was formed by people who grew tired of living under Inquisition's rule and fled. Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon hearing the word Inquisition, and people fled. Yeah, Nelgenhammer. We saw back at Claude, called. We aren't the kind of memories that's so easy for forgotten. According to Dr. Cowsit, the Inquisition of what filled the power vacuum once Liberia fell in chaos. That is, Inquisitor are the rapier, and the lamp-wielding protectors of Liberia, cities from lawlessness. That alone kinda makes them sound good people though. Yeah, they are, but this the Church of the Deep. The Inquisition will go whatever the lengths to deal with incidents related to the Church of the Warship Seaborn. An organization that worship these monsters? It seems that cultist fanaticism is a plague whenever we go. I feel like with all kinds of people, wrong faith and beliefs are so common. See, the Seaborn are the ones who massacred Liberia up. So following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems to remotely connect to them. Are you saying that Liberia is like this? Is like it because of Seaborns? Those things from earlier, I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. I know it's just that what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. For those who proclaim to be a side of justice, they seem to be quite fond of committing such a felony. It seems like reasonable policy decision to me, but it must pose certain danger for the daily life civilians. You heard I was the only survivor, and everyone in my family died. You must have been under such long periods of pain to be able to say something like that, such composure. They deserve it, they're elves. For Liberia, they are heroes who will bring the land back to its glory days. But to Gramps, they were just obsessors making their life difficult. That is why we came all the way here, fleeing from the Inquisition's case. Yet wherefore hasn't thou decided to settle in a place that's so run down? Indeed. I do know, but it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path, thanks to you guys. A new path. Well, it's getting late. Will you be repairing the ship tomorrow too? This place really has no soundproofing at all, huh? Good talk, everyone. Hope we can get another chance to do this tomorrow too. After seeing Mayor's to our own room, the other sinners who were still up anyways, and I laid ourselves the hard stone floor, with only thin layer of cloth between our bed acts. Mysterious world that is neither the city or nor the outskirts. But it seemed that our lives that people led were just as difficult as they were to be elsewhere. Well, more fighting. Oh. Oh, I am claiming these also. Oh no, I can pick anyone.
군주간 흑수
의로움을 이제야 부르나. 좀
4 levels for this one. Let's see.
아, 이번 의뢰는 몇 번?
걸맞는 곳이.
각 정리 요원은 위치로.
No, not
곧 열차 정리가 시작된다.
maybe magical girl. Oh wait, I barely use this.
복제팀의 협조가
총은 수지 타산에 맞게 한 발에 한 놈씩.
To despair. Oh, it's so big. Amazing. I didn't know there were remaining vessels of this class in Liberia. I spy her name here. This called by the name Rebellion led the last masas. Rebellion de las Masas. Revolt of the masses, is it? A name very much mirrored in speciality indeed. Hang Lu claimed in that he was rather fond of its size, about it being the same as his boat from his home, while Ishmael quickly jumped in it and correct us in that size wasn't alone anything special but the Great Lake, but it was still pretty big compared to Mepi or the Indigo Elder's skiff. It was going to be elsewhere around Mefi's size at most, but I sure can get the ship fixed in a day or two. As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of our time-consuming repairs have already been completed by the villagers. And the extent of our repair efforts only concern a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take as much time. Unless parts that are unfamiliar to Faust are also malfunctioning, as such as the core engine remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Faust. Despite Otis' confidence declaration, I could not help but feel oddly unsettled as I look around the ship. I didn't know why, but something tells me we don't want to linger here for too long. Still, pleased to be thorough about this just in case. I'd rather not sit on a sinking ship again. Experience at the Great Lake was enough. Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear are all operational capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles. You seem to be confident enough. It should be safe this time around, right? Are we talking about the rope to climb up the ship? No, there's a lift, like apparatus down there. It should take us up to the ship. Its stability was verified yesterday. Let's board the ship. Board the lift. You're 100% right. The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon. Wouldn't that be nice? Or you two just going faff around down there and we're heading up now. Oh no, we're going with you. As I made my way into the vessel bridge, I was greeted by an extravagant exterior that was as gauntly as extravagant interior that was as gauntly as its exterior. This is real gold, isn't it? Sure is shiny as heck here. Yeah. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Yes. Aesthetically satisfying, she said. But it's too obsessious, not quite my style. A young Melfi is quite excellent vessel, yet imagine the ventures we could embark on aboard in a vessel most lavishly decorated. As Faust and Otis were working on one of the control panels, Ishmael walked up to another and interface with it, giving it a knowing nod. This must be an investigative or research vessel of sorts. But it doesn't seem to be extravagant for one of those though. Look, coordinates updating in real time it seems. The coordinate seems to be set somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it's pointed to the small islets. Nope, no islets there. Whoa. Blimey, lass, you sure know how to sneak up on people. Mayors. Ah, what? Did I surprise you? I did ask to give you guys. I did ask if you guys come to fix the boat today. Still, I didn't know you'd be here. What important is set to this location? There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as an Aegir. Graham's home. I see. Understood. What's understood? It's now understood that why the promise of ship repair was sufficient to earn their trust in the title of saviors. What she's on about? She's getting transit. Consulting cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and the statement of the village chief, along with information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge the significance of a ship repair has to be a local populace. Of course, while this may constitution sequence of logical connection, the post is urgently challenged for Heathcliff to comprehend. To employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it to a more digestible language would constitute in a pursuit of inefficiency. Lower the baton, I implore you. I shall explain it in full. I was wondering when Miss Marta would start gabbering like that. So what she's on about? Heathcliff's shoulders were more relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. He placed lightly in the shoulder with a sigh. A brief observation of the village seemed to be just that their subsistence situation is quite dire. Much of their daily subsistence consists of dried food. Most of them are long-term food storage for purposes. Considering what Scotty said about the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's the food they packed when they first came from Fermaro. Some villagers were armed, yeah, and those seafarers weren't exactly that formidable, but given the state of the village are in, I doubt they have an easy time repelling those monsters. Indeed, and that brings us to the question of sustenance. Alright, I get what's going in. The last and her granddad is about to visit in the hometown, trying to get some food supplies from the feed. There to feed the people and to convey them. They're planning to use the fact that they'll have some snack all the way down the sea, yeah? Oh, we're not just repairing the ship, we're repairing their food supply plant too. Oh, what's wrong? It's well, the expression was rather crude. The Heathcliff's summary of the expression was clear, to the point, and not easily understood. The senior stared at him with a mild surprise, and I did so too. Wow, what's the annoying look? Wait, you saw it. Don't you think I'm that dim-witted, don't you? Top-notch institution. It's just that it's been a while since you actually shown this side of yourself. Thinking back, Heathcliff institution always been excellent. He often put things together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when I think about it, this place is your fault. It's kind of your fault. Yeah. I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Get off back, For those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Otis looked away from the usual chaos and asked Mears. Honestly, I'm surprised he was on point. Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't be lasting another year. But the Aegir will. I'm sure they will welcome us with open arms. I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried about you, but don't you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike Mears or Chief, they're not Aegir. I believe they will. Liberia suspect and hates the Aegir for no other reason than we're from the sea, but our home cannot be fallen so low as to abandon a group of starving land dwellers. Pretty must have explained to us though the Aegis are. I had initially thought they would be referring a region, yet it also seemed to refer to an affiliation of sorts. Maybe there's some sort of nest dwellers, though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts backstreets people with open arms. Maybe there used to be some rich folks. If I call them nests of Aegir here, then does that make the rabbit ear last Aegir too? Wait, know where it came from. Do you not distinguish between race? That's not entirely true. The delineation between races is a concept that does exist. Though I only saw them in phantoms. There were terrifying things called cuckoo spawns. However, in general rule, it can be said that humans should be only intelligent life forms in the city. People have slightly varied appearance depending on their race, like my cactus ears, like my cactus ear. I've got a point ears, but I'm an Aegir. Though it's not characteristically every Aegir shares. Good idea of what they discuss apparently to be Donkey seemed to be struggling to finish a sentence. Must just step in to continue. By context clues, by the manner of his words, just including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends. Similar external appearance to humans, different nature, different comparable sapiens. This of my belief that blood fiends are orchestrated due to their nature that make them coexist with humans difficult. It may be that the Aegir also. I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that can coexist with other difficulties, but they are possibly rare. Then wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? Well, the language is new, but the idea itself is pretty familiar to the city folks who like us. I think the feather of the fallen wing. Kids were born from the backstreet, people who replaced their bodies part with prosthetics. The form differs, but yet in essence we find the thread. Something about how you keep finding these similarities in the way of our lives, despite finding ourselves in a distant world with different rules facing humans. Felt oddly discomforting. The point is, the guy are doing us a solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from this gloomy conversation, okay? I want to show you a cooler part of this ship this way. The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs is almost complete, but an issue has arisen. Wow, that's not reassuring at all. Multiple life forms identified ahead, assuming to be a sea terror horde. Ship radar systems suggest that the vessel is surrounded. They're the same monsters yesterday. Exclusive manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it. Are they sea terrors you encountered? They have to be different, but yeah, probably. There's a lot of them, but not less experience tells us anything. We should probably able to handle this. Yeah, please support us in battle, like you did yesterday. Canst thou fight, young mares? I feel like I'm just gonna get you in I feel like I'm gonna get in your way. Then you guys find a place to keep Mary safe as far as possible from the battle. Then hurry down. There. We don't want them damaging the ship any further.
이 기회에 평소 지휘 실력을 확인해 보죠.
Okay, this is very different. And also, hey Virgilius. What's up, Virgilius? What's up, Virgil? You need a spider.
불가 위압 막아내는 살인
샤바나게라.
말로 받았다. 방금의 움직임들을 도련할 것 없이 100점 만점과 아가씨.
정말 추냐? 눈 감고 있는
I are the Lord.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니
누군가에게 맡겨졌고 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 가지고
Oh
있다고
my god, everyone's
제가
talking
늘
one.
말씀드렸죠. 저는
이제
언제나
그
옳은 말만
도통
한답니다.
알아들을 수 없는
What the fuck, they all
말만
talking at once.
고치면 딱 좋겠어. 4번
Shut up.
수감자.
Shut up. Go kill them all. Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thank
단번에 우리를 더 맞췄던 마음. 이 기술을
yeah,
하면
she
이번
should-
판도 무난히
she should
승리하실 수
anyway.
있을 겁니다, 아가씨. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
you. And then thanks, Lever.
확실히 훌륭하군. 5번 수감자. 덕분에 위험한 순간도 넘어간 적이 많다지.
Okay, let me give you more.
불가 위압
그렇게 서덜고 주마. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
아무것도 남지 마라.
Yep.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다.
바람 불어오는데요.
기계는 이래라는 말
Nine
따위
left and
쉽게
right.
하지 않아요.
고작 이 정도 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
Let's keep back.
제가 괜히 먹을 것들을 사들고 오는 것이 아닙니다. 단테. 이런 부수적인 효과를 기대했었죠.
Go get them.
시비수에게 명한다. 이 앞에 숨지는 자 누구 하나 살려주지 마라.
First.
숨통 끊기.
Okay, very nice.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요.
Answer me my Heishu pack.
적합한
도끼를
조치.
보내라. 넌
Oh, that killed him.
개체의
저
유효한
해충들을
속성을 정확하게
도려내라.
간파했습니다. 제 예상만큼 이제 관리자님의 능력이 우수하다는 것이
나라묘야.
증명되는
그렇게
거고
했어.
길을 열어. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도
이만하면
없겠구나.
훌륭하고
약점을 찔렀어.
그 짧은 감성
That was the attack.
넌
제 제작 정도는
That was the attack. I just realized.
감동적이지 않을 수 없네.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕.
깨우치시게. 어디 보자. 이제 깨우치시게.
완벽한 승리 축하드립니다,
맞지.
아가씨. 이 정도의 성과라면 4대 가문의 자제들도 인정할 수밖에 없을 겁니다.
좋은 수업 덕분이지. 배운 게 많았어.
Oh my fucking god. Wei and Chi should talk so much.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알겠다.
Let's do something.
흑수는 그 세...
Do it just for me. Ah, man. Hell. Okay. Multide.
만곡된 직선을 직선으로 질주하겠소.
Hey.
동료들이여, 자세를 갖추고 저들을 맞이하세. 우리를 가로막는 저 시련을 해치우고 끝나지 않는 모험을 향하여.
Should do one mind breaker.
그렇게
누군가에게
시원하게 처리하니
낚여졌겠지만
보는 맛이 나는군. 일 참 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
시비 소리는 이해하는
깔끔한 헤드샷. 머리통에 작살났다고.
말로
효율적인 대처로
Yung
개체를
보였네.
획득합니다. 물론
dito siya.
기계는 입에 발린
단번에
말
우위를
따위
점하셨군요.
쉽게 하지 않아요.
이 기세라면 이번 대련도 무난히 승리하실 수 있을
Ah,
겁니다, 아가씨.
Tapos iyan ko lang muna sa example ko yung iyan ko makuha ko na ng Ego. Kasi may collab eh. Ego. Ego?
예전부터 한 번에 드는
Tinagawa ko na makuha dito. Man. Eh, no. One more. And that fucking again. Bloody. I love you all. Bye. See you guys.